Village Bostonites Finance Meeting Tuesday, September 22nd. We'll go ahead and call it to order at 7:31 tonight. For the record, we want to make sure that all members of finance are present, and all members of council as a committee of the whole are present at the meeting as well. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything that is different than your mayor's report that you provided at the council meeting just a couple minutes ago?
I do not at this point have anything different. No. But thank you.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the mayor right now as far as I bet you probably would have asked him at the council meeting a couple of minutes ago, but does anybody have anything that they would like to address to the mayor? I'd like to remind all the members of the public that are participating, I am more than happy to field questions or concerns, but I would ask that you just put it in the Q&A on your dashboard within the meeting. Or if you're phoned in, put it on the chat as well. Or you can put it on the chat or the Q&A. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Betty, for the finance meeting tonight.
I'm sorry.
Would you please go ahead and provide your
I don't
report?
have anything. Anything. I'm done.
All right, you have the fire levy coming up on the November 3rd ballot.
Right. But I kind of covered that the last meeting. So.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Number 25. We have that on there. Does anybody have any questions for Betty tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and look at setting the council agenda for October 13th. There will be an approval of minutes from the September 8th, and there will be an approval for the September 22nd, today's meeting on that agenda.
Yes.
So if Betty, if you could make sure that that gets emailed out to all members of council,
right,
when appropriate, that'd be helpful for us to be able to review those items before the meeting. It looks like there are no ordinances as of yet that need to be fielded in the meeting. Does anybody anticipate anything coming up that we would need to look at?
What date is this going to be?
October 13th will be the next council meeting. Yeah, you're on mute.
I can't. Can you go on mute?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. As we discussed at the last council meeting, we're going to have a ordinance or a motion before council with respect to a proposed change of zoning for the what I'm going to refer to as the Norwood Inn parcel. They're seeking to change that to allow essentially to allow residential. That will be on the agenda next time. So I would ask we put it in. We will likely put it in as an ordinance, but it's going to be either an ordinance or a motion to approve or disapprove. But I envision it being in the form of an ordinance.
Are they submitting any type of like plans or anything, like what they're, why they want to change?
I can't hear you.
Here, I'll turn it up. Go ahead, Ron.
Are they submitting like any plans of what, you know, they're asking for the change, but like the reason for it and what they're like, any more detailed proposals or presentations?
Yeah. So my observation on that is that they have the burden of proof to submit to council. Like they had the burden of proof to the planning commission to submit what they intend, the reasons for that submission, and why they think that you know, the council should change its mind, just like any other legislative type of hearing. And the short answer to your question is all we have at this point is their application, and they did not submit anything with in addition to their application with the planning commission either. So what we have right now is just the application itself.
Oh, wait a second. So that they went before the planning commission with just an application and no detailed plans? Is that right? And the planning commission approved that?
What the planning commission, what they ultimately decided, and what I believe their philosophy was, and I guess they can speak for themselves, but my understanding is that they viewed it as a small p political decision, something that they wanted council to decide on.
Mm.
What?
They
What do
didn't
we have them
want to
for?
make a choice? Is that,
So if I could right now, Mr. Mayor, would you talk with John Codrea? Like, both the mayor and myself voted no on this. So if they're going to advocate for their recommendation, it's a bit of a weird spot, having voted no for that, to come up to for myself. And I am our representative to the planning commission. I've been going to it for years and years, right? Marshall, how do you know? I mean, if planning commission is making a recommendation, I am the council rep for the planning commission. Who would speak on this recommendation, or is it just the application in itself that will be speaking to council to
Yeah,
carry?
we have a recommendation from the planning commission, and that would be what we would rely on. Certainly, Mr. Codrea or anyone else could come in and speak their minds, but I don't believe that it is required that Mr. Codrea as chair come in and make a report, as you suggest. In fact, that I'm not aware of that happening in prior examples of proposed zoning code changes.
But there is an opportunity for anybody here on council that would like to get some clarity on why that was recommended. I would recommend that you reach out to any one of the three members of the planning commission that voted yes on that recommendation, to get the rationale,
I find it very
if you so
puzzling
choose to do that.
that the planning commission, and I've dealt with them for years and years and years, has always been a stickler for detailed plans. And when John Codrea writes these things up, they're very exact, very specific, and very accurate. And
Well, there is in his defense, he did write up the things which have not been circulated to council or anyone yet, or to the planning commission, who would have to approve those minutes. But and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Fenn, but
I was done.
what I think, from what I understand of it, Don and Marshall, is the fact that the zoning inspector sort of directed them to say, all you're really applying for is zoning change. You don't have to supply any plans. You don't have to supply anything. You're just asking the planning commission, and then in turn, planning commission is put it in council's lap to say, do you want this property changed to the, I'll probably get this wrong, village center zoning? And that's all it was asked. So during the meeting, I believe Mr. Poliak, it was talked and discussed that when other things were brought up, like, where are your plans, what's this going to look like, what are the numbers, things like that, they said, well, we didn't need to submit any of that because that would come later after you approve the zoning.
Yeah, I disagree with that as being the proper process. My recollection is that the zoning inspector actually did address that issue and opined on that, and commented on the fact that they didn't have those things. That it was going to be up to them to supplement that. I would remind everyone, and I might do it the next meeting depending how things unfold. But as a technical matter, these folks were so prepared that they hadn't even formed the corporation that was the actual applicant for the project. Right, there wasn't even an LLC. They had to amend their application on the fly in order to actually even have standing to submit an application.
And Mr. Pitchford, I will be addressing this with you after the meeting. I had a phone message at noon today from Michael George. And you know who that is, and I have not called him back, so. But
Any other questions on that?
No, I'm just interested to see what they present to council. Yeah, I agree. Bob, I agree.
Mr. Barco said it perfectly.
Yeah, Barco said it perfectly.
What did he say?
Oh, do it again, Bob.
You can't yet to see him, Jen.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Yes, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pitchford, for prepping council then that it'll most likely look like an ordinance, and if everybody can then do your research, make your phone calls, take a look again, make sure that you are prepared, the Heinz Hill overlay and the strategic plan community survey work that was done on, those are the things that we'll be voting on whether they uphold and they meet the spirit of the Heinz Hill overlay and the strategic plan of the village, and it meets the comprehensive plan, and that it meets the vision of what the village, its representatives and its residents have put together, along with that expert, with the experts of OHM planners, facilitating and writing and putting those things together. That'll be what your vote is. Okay.
Is OHM going to have a representative at that meeting? Next council meeting?
At the request, we could have, I mean, obviously if Brian or Arthur are there, it would be helpful.
I think it would be very helpful.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
again, this is something that normally on zoning matters, we take at least 3 readings. We never do it on an emergency basis. So we'll take
I think that, Mr. Fenn, if I may, I'm not sure that we necessarily need 3 readings in this particular situation. But if that's the will of the council, we can do that. But I'm not sure that.
Okay.
Well, if they don't bring their evidence at the first hearing, at their opportunity, because they're going to be coming to the first hearing to make their presentation. But if you'd like to talk to me about that, I can share with you my thoughts on that later. I don't need to prolong the meeting here.
Okay.
I have a question, Janet.
Go ahead, Janet.
So they're going to be coming back before planning and zoning, but that's first. I mean, we don't have a council meeting until after the next. So you're saying that we could be coming back in November?
They will not be. They will be coming, if they so choose, to the council meeting.
Oh, to the council meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The council is the body that approves it. Council is in Boston Heights, council is the body that decides zoning changes. So planning commission can only make a recommendation. So they've made their recommendation, and now the decision to change the code, zoning code, is before council.
I just wondered if they were coming with a plan.
It'll be up to them.
Well, I'd like to say something. I think at the council meeting that Brian and Arthur should both be there to represent the village, I think.
We can make that request, Bob.
Right.
But I would think that they've been a good partner with us for years. I would think that they will show up and represent.
Right.
Just a little bit of clarification. What we're going to be doing is it'll be a public hearing on that evening of the 13th. we'll be advertising for the potential zoning code change. We're required for all of that. Just like any other zoning code change that's being considered. So anyone who wants to participate can do so. And we'll be getting that out in time for the.
There's
So
no
that'll be
time for that.
free. That'll be like 6:30 or something?
We can do it however you want. We can do it at 6:30. We can do it at 7 and make the council after. However you guys want to handle it.
Let's do it at 7
Don?
and then.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
do
Don,
council
when-
after. Go ahead, Mr. Fenn. I'm sorry, there's a delay.
Yeah, when Marshall is talking, mute yourself. Otherwise, we got a reverberation chamber going on.
All right, I'll try.
An echo chamber.
The echo chamber. Not that we don't like to hear him.
It's fine. It's just entertaining, isn't it?
You get double Marshall. I mean,
There you go.
double Marshall. That is a
We
heck of a
need
bonus here in
one.
September.
Reese cups.
Mm. Okay. All right. So is there any other questions on the rezoning recommendation from Planning Commission issue that will be dealt with in ordinances at the next council meeting? Seeing none, let's move to resolutions. We will have a second reading for authorizing the mayor to enter, and well, we just voted on that tonight. The lease agreement.
That was contingent on if it was not passed tonight.
Okay. So that will not be on the agenda for the fire pumper truck. All right.
It
But the
won't be?
resolution for,
Oh.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It passed. It won't be on the meeting. It doesn't need to be on the October
We're
meeting.
good.
Resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to request advances on the local tax revenues through Summit County and declaring an emergency. Again, it's something we do every single year. So that if and when the money comes in, they'll send it to us in advances if it's there, which I think they've been doing that over the last couple of years.
If I can just add something that it's by law that we have to request it, and so that they will automatically within so many days of receipt of tax dollars, we have to have our share.
Yes.
Got it?
All right. Yep. Then there'll be a resolution authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer to purchase one police vehicle and declaring an emergency. So maybe safety committee can come with some information on that for everybody. I think that everybody's been kind of prepped and understands what's going on there, but now would be the time to talk about it if you did have questions. All right, seeing none, does any of the council committees have anything pertinent for financial or legislative considerations? Seeing none, with anybody with any old or new business? That not being here as well, we'll go ahead.
Hey, Don. There seems to
Yep.
be a question.
Yes,
It looks like there's another question. I don't know if it's a question in the question and answer.
yeah, it says public hearing.
Yeah, I don't.
So that was addressed by Marshall in talking about like that at the next meeting. I'm assuming that is saying and prompting that it's necessary to have a public hearing. We're going to be having a public hearing regarding the rezoning issue.
Okay.
We will do that at 7 o'clock, and then we would have the council meeting afterwards.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other questions on that?
So to be clear, the public hearing will be at 7 o'clock and then council meeting will be after that.
Yes, that's what we've determined here tonight. Okay. All right, seeing nobody else having any other items for the finance committee here, we'll go ahead and adjourn at 7:50.
Thank you.
Good
So
night.
thanks, everybody.
take care.
Everybody have a great, safe night and week, and we will see you all on soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank
All right, thank you. Mayor, I'm going to move you back over to the
Host back,
host.
thank you.